Y'all, we often cover UFOs here on the channel, but we don't always get to cover when the interactions with the UFOs goes wrong. Now, just the other day, we did a slightly scary video on the Peru Balacaras and the situation they're dealing with down south. But these situations come up more often than you think, and they happen all over the world. For this video, we're going to cover the Soviet UFO attack, or as the Soviets themselves called it, the Cosmic Revenge. Now this is a piece of information that we received from KGB files that were transferred to the CIA at the end of a certain war that we all know about. This event was covered more thoroughly in a 250-page document full of evidence that the United States government has retrieved. However, they have not made all of the information public. They did make a main part of the story public, and it's really scary. Let's jump in. According to the KGB material, there was a Soviet military unit that was conducting routine maneuver practices in the forest. They were all out and about, a whole group of them, when they see a flying saucer flying low to the ground, slowly and quietly. Now, as they're doing their training exercises, one of them looks up, sees this, starts panicking, kind of tells the others. Now, you tell me in the comments below what you would do. Would you, A, try to approach and ask some questions as to what's going on? B, grab the nearest recording material you can and try to gather as much information as possible? Or C, fire a surface-to-air missile at an unknown extraterrestrial craft? If you chose C, you're dumb. And surprisingly, that's exactly what they did. These military personnel were out training, see an extraterrestrial unidentified craft maneuvering eerily, obviously in saucer shape, and they fire a surface-to-air missile at it. How do you think that went? Not great. Now, as this is all happening in an open field, two soldiers with better heads on their shoulders saw this and thought, oh crap, and ran to hide behind trees and foliage. Because what the hell are they doing? According to these two surviving soldiers, this alien ship crash landed and exploded. There was debris everywhere. And from the debris and rubble, they saw the debris moving and something cleaning up the debris from themselves. And they saw these tall creatures with large heads and large black eyes emerge from the debris, looking, guffawed no doubt, at these soldiers that had just shot it down from the sky. I think these aliens have a little bit of a right to be pissed off. What happens next is nightmare fuel. According to the survivors' testimonies, after breaking themselves free from the debris, the aliens came close together and then merged into a single object that acquired a spherical shape. That object began to buzz and hiss sharply and then became brilliant white. In just a few seconds, the sphere grew much bigger and bigger, and then it exploded by flaring up with an extremely bright light. At that very instant, 23 soldiers that had watched the phenomenon, that did not run behind trees like the other two, that were exposed to this light, instantly petrified and turned into limestone pillars. The humans were turned into limestone pillars, effectively ending their life immediately. Only those two soldiers that were hiding, that were in the shade, that were less exposed to this bright light, only they survived to tell the tale. And that tale, to tell the story, to tell the warning, not to shoot surface-to-air missiles at alien spacecrafts. Now, one is to assume that after this explosion of light, after these soldiers turned into pillars of limestone, these aliens were gone. They just disappeared in that explosion of light. Like, their whole essence was missing. because when the KGB came back to retrieve stuff, they were only able to retrieve the debris of the UFO that was hit with the surface to air missile and the 23 limestone pillars and the 2 survivors, which again survived to tell this story. So they were able to gather all this material, and from what you can see here, and this CIA document will be linked below, it's also should be on screen, it doesn't seem like the aliens were retrieved at all. The KGB report goes on to say that the remains of the UFO and the petrified soldiers were transferred to a secret scientific research institution near Moscow. Specialists assume that the source of energy that is still unknown to Earthlings instantly changed the structure of the soldiers' living organism, having transformed it into a structure whose molecular composition is no different from that of limestone. That's what's on this file. That tells me not to mess with these aliens and not to shoot them. And their technology is well beyond any defense capability we have. What do you mean it turned people into limestone pillars? And this is apparently a known story. This was approved for release in 2000. Thanks to the Freedom of Information Act, not only did it come out, but it became more public as more people started digging into CIA files that became more public to all of us via their website. This is absolute insanity, and it's one of those very few talked about UFO cases that I think is very important because we love to romanticize these beings from outer space, these aliens and these UFOs, and we'd like to think that they're going to come and save us. And I mean, honestly, they might. We did attack them in this situation. But the situation does prove that they do also have weapons, and they are very formidable and not to be trifled with. This is insane. Now, as of recording, the rest of this documentation with the 250 pages hasn't been released to the public. Hopefully one day it is, and we get to dive deeper into what exactly this story means and how it went down. But I wanted to share with you guys one of the scariest UFO incidents in history. If you want to check out more UFO videos, check out those videos right there. Paranormal videos where we have fun and get scared. Reading Reddit videos where we judge. We listen but don't judge. Or we do judge. And Mandela Effect videos. Check out all the videos.